In any science fiction property, space combat normally will be a huge part of it. I'm John Berry, and welcome to another episode of Star Wars Talk, and today I'll be showing you guys what I think my ideal fleet would be, using ships only from Star Wars Canon. I'm also planning on doing a video where I'm only going to use Star Wars Legends ships, and a video where I'll be using any ship from any Star Wars IP. And then of course I'll also be doing a Star Trek one, cause why not? But this video, Canon ships only. So, in the background you'll probably see some video game footage, or maybe the footage of the ships as I mentioned them. You'll see, maybe I'll mix it up a little bit. But at the center of my fleet, what my flagship would be, it would be also a carrier. I'm going to be kind of taking some cues from a current naval combat doctrine in the United States, in our world, where aircraft carriers are normally the center of the fleet, so I'm making carriers the center of my fleet, my ideal fleet. So I will use one Lucasfilm class battleship, or battle cruiser, I think, whatever it's called, one Lucasfilm as my command ship, as my flagship. It also would be a carrier. It would be in the center of the formation, if you will. And there will be slight different variations between attacking and defending formations, but pretty much these are the ships I would have. So the Lucasfilm will be the center. Then I will have 3 Venator-class Star Destroyers. They will also serve primarily as carriers, but also command ships. They will serve the left flank, the right flank, and the rear flank. And then I would also have 1 Imperial-class Star Destroyer. That would serve as the battleship of the fleet, and be the command ship for the center flank, the forward flank. So kind of it would be the spearhead, if you will. So for attacking, it would be the thing that's attacking, and defending, it would be the first line of defense with all the carriers behind it, all the carriers and their support ships behind. So that would be essentially the big ships of my fleet. But I would also have 6 Victory-class Star Destroyers. We don't see them too much in Canon, but I believe they've been mentioned once. Actually, I think they are Legends. Okay, let's change this up a bit, because I think Victories are only in Legends. So we're going to use an Imp 2, so an Imperial 2 class as the big battleship and command ship, and use Imperial 1, 6 of them as the battleships of the fleet. I'd rather use Victories, though, but I don't think that would work in Canon. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I think Victories are Legends only. So yeah, it'd be essentially 7 Imperial class, but 1 would be in Imp 2 and the rest would be Imp 1s. And so those would be the main things. They would be the forward, they would be in the front of the fleet. Then I would have 10 MC-80s. They would be the cruisers, and their essentially main goal would be to protect the carriers. Protect the carriers, and also maybe some capital ship to capital ship engagement as well. But their main goal is to help protect the flanks. And then I will have 10 Consular CR-70 Charger refits. So the Consular class cruisers that we saw in the Clone Wars, the refit versions that are for combat. I will have 10 of those, along with 10 Aquitans class light cruisers and 10 CR-90 corvettes. And their main jobs will be as destroyers. So they'll go and weaving in between ships and the enemy ships and attacking, but they also will be used as starfighter screens. So their formation is going to be kind of loose. Oh, and the same thing also goes with 10 raiders. Raider class corvettes used by the Empire. I'll be using those as well. There'll be kinds of destroyers and starfighter screens because of maneuverability. I also will have 10 Acclimator-class intergalactic transports. It's the ships that we saw in Attack of the Clones. With attacking fleets, they'll be used as troop carriers, But with defending fleets, they'll be used as starfighter screens. And of course, also just general support ships as well will be a part of their duties, if you will. I also will have 10 Nebula Bs, and their job will only be starfighter screens, and specifically, they'll be protecting the carriers. So, since I have 4 carriers, that'd be 2 Nebula Bs dedicated to screening starfighters and protecting the carrier for each carrier. Next will be, and this will be the last capture ships of my fleet, 10 Municipal class, I think, cruisers they were. Essentially they'll be filling the role of a battle cruiser. They'll be supporting the Imperial class Star Destroyers in attacking. Their goal will be to attack the enemy ships and destroy them because they have a lot of forward firepower. Because you're wondering what ships these are, they're also called banking claim frigates, and we see plenty of them in Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars. I would have, and maybe as additional ships, I might throw in some Providence or Rexing from the CIS fleet, but I really don't want those. I'd rather have the other ships. I prefer those designs and what I want my fleet to be. Now, starfighters of my fleet. Because if carriers are the center of your fleet, you need to have some good starfighters. So for heavy bombers, which will only really be employed during attacking formations, I'll be using Star Fortress bombers from The Last Jedi. So their goal would be to be heavy hitters and severely damage enemy capital ships. The main strike bomber of my fleet, so these are more maneuverable. These are the Y-Wings, if you will. In fact, I'm using the Y-Wings, but from the Clone Wars, because you got the main piloting gunner, and the person who operates the 4 laser cannons and that, but you also have somebody operating some ion cannons, which can be very beneficial. I believe the designation for the Clone Wars era Y-Wings were BTL Y-Wings. I could be wrong, BTLB maybe, something like that, but the Clone Wars era Y-Wings. So their goal would be to go in and use ion torpedoes and all that to soften up the enemy and take them out. Maybe even soften them up for the heavy bombers to destroy them, if you will. For my main starfighter, my main space superiority fighter, if you will, instead of air superiority fighter, would be the T-70 X-Wing. It's still pretty heavy hitting, but it's much better against other starfighters than the bombers are. So their goal would be, they'll supplement the bombers when needed, but they'll supplement the interceptors when needed. So the bombers will be focusing on the capture ships, and the interceptor, which I have not gotten to yet, will be focusing on stopping enemy starfighters, while the main starfighter, the space superiority fighter, will be, supplementing the interceptors, defending the bombers, and helping the bombers, kind of doing whatever is needed based off of the current situation. And as I said, my main space superiority fighter will be some T-70 X-Wings, but also I'm throwing in some ARC 170s as well, because there are some pretty good ships. And they might even do better to help supplement the bombers more than the interceptors, but those will really help out. And maybe you could throw in some older X-Wings, if you will, but I'm not quite sure. Definitely no TIE fighters. Rather have a Vulture droid over a TIE fighter, but I really think T-70s and ARC 170s are the best for this. And as for the interceptor, this one I debated a lot for. I considered I could go with the A-Wing. It would be the RZ2, the RZ2, depending, however you say Z or Z. So the Resistance A-Wing, that would be my ideal if I went with an A-Wing. I wouldn't want a V-Wing, wouldn't want a TIE Interceptor. So what I decided was, looking at, I kind of like in CIS ships. Definitely don't have any First Order ships. The First Order TIEs are better, but I thought for the Interceptor the best bet would be to use the CIS's Droid Tri-Fighter. Because that way I think would be the best for intercepting enemy starfighters and taking them out of action. because they got a droid brain, and they're fast. They don't have to worry about G-forces that you would have to with a humanoid pilot. So that's why I went with the droid Tri-Fighter in the end. And then also a gunship, which will essentially serve to help the bombers, kind of, and be a heavy hitter, maybe even send in landing parties. I went with the HMP droid gunship used by the Separatists, because that is a very good gunship. It can carry in droids into battle, so you don't have to worry about if you want to do boarding actions. Just put on some super bad droids, some B2s, or some B1s, doesn't really matter, or even commandos, BX series command droids, whatever droids you want. You can just throw it up there. They can blast a hole into the enemy ship and then just hover over it and drop the droids in. No need to worry about them needing to breathe, and you can just send them in to help damage the enemy from the inside, and in case the ship's destroyed before they can get off, the droids, not humans. So that's essentially where we'll make up my ideal fleet, and for the numbers of the starfighters, that will depend on how many I can squeeze into my carriers and my other ships, because like Imperial class Star Destroyers and MC-80s will also be able to carry some starfighters into battle on like my carriers. Not as many. The Acclimator can take some too. I know the radar can fit some. The Munificence, I think, can fit in a few. But the Aquitins I know can't. I know the Consuls can't. Nebulas may be able to dock a few. And same thing with CR9 Corvettes. I don't think there's no real hangars, but you can dock a few. So there you go. Kind of my logic and all that for what my ideal fleet in Star Wars, using only Star Wars canon ships, would be. If you have other ideas, I would love to hear them. Let me know in the comments. Because my idea is very carrier heavy and focusing on having the best starfighters possible. But you may want a fleet that is a much heavier hitter. Maybe you're thinking more ideal for attacking enemy fleets, or more focused on defending a planet or attacking a planet. You may have different ideas. I went with more what would be the most well-rounded fleet for any circumstances, and that can be most easily redeployed depending on what kind of engagement it's in. You may have other ideas, and I would love to hear from you. You can let me know in the comments down below. But that is where I'm going to end this video, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Also, subscribe to the channel for future content. As I said, I got at least 3 more of these videos coming out with my ideal fleets. If you have other ideas for properties you would like to see me do ideal fleets for besides Star Wars and Star Trek, let me know. And as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you always.